Hey, welcome to the GCast podcast. This is our first episode. It's a Resident Evil podcast, but we'll end up talking about other games. I'm Americana Ninja, and I'm joined by
Cryo Reviews. You can find both of our channel links down in the description of the videos.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm hyped to be here. We got some topics laid out today, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about how we got into the Resident Evil franchise, some of our favorite moments of it, and some of our favorite characters. Might speculate about Resident Evil 9 Requiem a little bit too.
Oh, I got some stuff to say about that.
I got a few theories floating around.
Oh yeah.
I got a few theories incubating in the laboratory.
I try to stay away from the whole theory crafting talk, but it's really hard whenever you see people on your timeline just spitting up some bull. You're just like, oh my goodness, dude.
It makes me start thinking.
I gotta get my 2 cents.
Yeah, it makes me start thinking, and then I have to say something about it.
Right, of course. All right. Well, yeah. Let's see. So, I can start with how I got into the franchise.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start with that. How did you get into the franchise, Kyra?
So whenever I was younger, my uncle, his now wife, it was his girlfriend at the time, of course. We would go stay with her after school on some days, and she had a sister who had a PS2 with Resident Evil 4 on it, and I still to this day think that that's the best way to experience. I know people argue otherwise, and I totally get it, but I think for nostalgia purposes, the PS2 is the best way to play Resident Evil 4, and it introduced separate ways and Assignment Ada, which wasn't on the GameCube version, so that was it was really cool. And my brother was also a big fan, and I think whenever you're really young, at the age that I was, maybe 4 or 5, action, you're really into the big explosions, not so much scary stuff, and Resident Evil 4 was right around the time where it started actually, becoming more action-oriented, and so I think for that reason, it was eye-catching for me because I grew up with Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, which were, they each, just in that order, got more and more action movie aesthetic, which I think was appealing to my young mind.
Oh, definitely, totally understand that. I definitely loved action stuff when I was young, still do. Action-oriented, lots of things.
I think I just had to, I had to grow into the scary stuff, because it was something that whenever you're young, you kind of stay away from. There are some kids who kind of seek it out, and I was exposed to it a lot at a young age, but I was never really interested in it. But as I got older, I started to learn to appreciate horror and the thrill you get from being scared.
Yeah, it's kind of like spicy food in a way, it's you have to accumulate yourself to it. That's
a great comparison.
I'll go into the story whenever I do talk about how I got into the franchise, but that's
right,
kind of similar, is the same way of what you said right there. Some kids are drawn to it type idea, and that's what it was I was drawn to it, but I was still afraid by it. But I'll go into greater detail here in a moment about it. Do go on.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of where it really started for me, and I think I recognized that a lot of the kids around me at my age weren't really interested in Resident Evil, or they weren't interested in things that had a whole lot of substance yet. I felt like I was kind of ahead in that aspect. I started getting deep into something on a deeper level, understanding lore of a show, as opposed to still watching Bubble Guppies or The Amazing World of Gumball, where it's that's all that stuff's great, but it's there's not much to get into there. It's a very surface level thing. And so I think I recognized at a young age that it was kind of I was oh, I'm a cool kid for being being involved with something that has such deep lore and stuff like that. And that was another thing that was really, really cool for me about Resident Evil, because I felt like I was a big fan of it whenever it wasn't really like popular. Like it became popular with Resident Evil 4 remake, more specifically, is whenever the big boom of the Resident Evil franchise occurred. For sure. Like I know a lot of people say 7 revived the franchise, and it did, but it only revived the franchise for returning players. It didn't really attract like new players. And I think Resident Evil 4 remake did attract new players on a large scale. Not sure where I was going with that, but that's kind of, yeah, that's where that goes for me.
No, I totally understand. I think the franchise has like multiple instances where there will be a spike in interest due to like certain releases. Like Resident Evil 1 and 2 and 3, there's a lot of hype around them back then. It was all about Resident Evil versus Silent Hill, you know. So it was pretty, you know, pretty famous, but then it kind of petered out. They had a couple other games released, like Resident Evil Survivor and Code Veronica. And Code Veronica was great, but it's more of a cult classic.
It was really good. Yeah, that was I would consider that, even though, you know what's crazy? There are 2 games in the franchise I haven't beaten. I haven't beaten Resident Evil 0. However, I've made it to the final boss twice on hard mode. I refuse to do my first playthrough on anything besides that. And then on Code Veronica, I've gotten soft locked at Nosferatu twice. So I'm like, I just haven't beaten those 2 games.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's I've heard people say Code Veronica can be pretty difficult. So it's it's something I've been playing Code Veronica for a long time. So like running through it, I just kind of, you know, I'm just able to do it now without really too much of a worry. But if you're like first time playing it, yeah, you can waste ammo, you can run yourself into a soft lock, all sorts of things can happen. People say it's difficult, so I believe it. But
yeah, for sure.
I beat it a long time ago, and like I've played it multiple times since then, so it's I just don't really remember like how it was the first time I played it.
Right, I get that.
Yeah, that type of thing. I know, like, I left the Dreamcast on because I had no memory card, so I had to leave the Dreamcast on to try to
oh my
get
gosh,
through the
yeah,
game.
you could leave those on for days.
Yeah, it was great.
Same with the
It was
PS2.
Yeah, and the PS2, that's something you said earlier I wanted to mention was that was an interesting point that, yeah, playing Resident Evil 4 on the PS2 is a great way to experience it because there is more to the story, you know?
Yeah.
Same with the Code Veronica X on PS2, they have more to the story. And so, you know, it's a more complete version of the games. So that's, but I do gotta say one thing, the Nintendo GameCube controller, top tier controller, best feeling controller ever. I love the Nintendo GameCube controller.
Never used it, but I'm interested for sure.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Like, yeah, you just hold yourself a Nintendo GameCube controller one day. You'll understand.
Gotta stop by Super Mega Replay and give me a GameCube controller.
Yeah, point at it over the shelf and be like, hey, let me see that real fast.
Let me hold that, please.
Yeah. See what all the fuss is about. It's a real comfortable controller. There's a few things. The one thing I would have changed about it, though, not to get too off topic, but one thing I would have changed about the GameCube controller is the C-stick was a little too thin feeling. I would have like gave it a little bit of a bigger, you know, thumb area to control it. But that's about it, really.
That's fair.
It's great.
Yeah, I got a buddy. He actually came over and stayed a day or two with me yesterday, but he has like this crazy controller modification for his PS5 controller. He's got like 9 different paddles and a bigger one of his sticks is longer than the other, and like doing all this crazy stuff, and I'm just like, bro, I just have a regular, like, am I a peasant? What is this? Like, what is happening? Didn't even know this existed.
I got 5 buttons on the side of my mouse. I still haven't programmed them.
That's great.
But yeah, no, some people have fun definitely modding out their stuff, and yeah, it can sometimes be a little bit more comfortable depending on stuff. Like I finally had a controller here with the pads on the back of it. They've come in handy here and there. I've done worn out the controller though. I need to get me a new one definitely. But the pads were a pretty fun little addition to the controller. I like that.
Right.
It wasn't too bad. But you said, yeah, no, you said so. Resident Evil 4, PS2. You go over to a family member's house, and that was your introduction into the franchise there.
That was it. That was it. Probably responsible for why Resident Evil 4 is my favorite in the franchise. Depending on what day you ask me, it kind of goes between it's either 4 or 1 remake. It's, you know, depends on what day it is, but
yeah, I totally understand. I've had a bit of a complicated relationship with the RE4 growing up with it, you know? Like I've had a bit of a complicated relationship with it, but overall it's a very fun game, great game, and all that. When I was like real little, it was mainly like when it came out is that shift into the over-the-shoulder action, and then the shift away from the atmospheric horror, like the atmosphere of the environments as a whole and stuff. That's yeah,
it's literally credited for being like the first game to do 5 different things. Like it's nuts how revolutionary it was.
It revolutionized a lot of different ways to play games. It revolutionized a lot of different game styles, and there's a lot of games that did like the same stuff, but it's, they did it well in Resident Evil 4, and so it really paved the way for a lot of different games. There's a lot of games we wouldn't have if we didn't get Resident Evil 4.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
How'd you get into it, man? You gotta tell us about how you got into it.
Yeah, I'll do my little breakdown part here of how I got into the Resident Evil franchise. So, what is it? Okay, so it's the GamePro magazine, right? GamePro magazine. I was about 6 or 7, and at the local convenience store, they had a magazine rack, and I love video games. I grew up with video games, so like my earliest memory is being in diapers playing Mario on like the regular Nintendo, right? So like I grew up with video games, and about at this time, I think I have like a Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis at this time, and
you know, not the Sega Genesis.
Right, I'll be playing Mortal Kombat, and I had a game called Cybernator. I have a playthrough of that on my live page. It's a fun Super Nintendo game. We have what other odd games on the Super Nintendo did I have? I had the Spawn game, and that one's notoriously hard. But it was the first level was a lot of fun.
Was crazy.
Earthworm
My brother
Jim.
was a big Spawn fan.
Yeah, Spawn was cool. The live action movie was great. I loved it as a kid. But so like I went to the convenience store and I seen video game magazines, and the thought never occurred to me at that time. Like I was like 6 or 7 and I seen them and I was like, no way, they got video game magazines. And so, you know, I asked Mom to, you know, get me one, and she got me a GamePro magazine, and inside of it they had a Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 like preview type thing.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know what it is. I don't know why I latched onto it. If it was because it was about zombies or something. Like I was kinda into horror stuff a little bit. Like I'm trying to think if I was into scary stuff before Resident Evil, or if Resident Evil was what really kinda drew me more into it. But like when I was
Right.
a kid, like, you know, anything scary would scare me, you know?
Oh, for
Like
sure.
it
Yeah.
would scare me, like, you know, it's like spicy food. It would burn my mouth, but like I kept coming back to it. And zombies is the big one. I really like zombies. And but Resident Evil 2 and 3 was in that GamePro magazine, and something about it, I just maybe the way the article read about it or the pictures or something, but I was like, man, Resident Evil, I gotta play this. I have to play this
Yeah.
someday. And so like I just kept getting like glimpses of it here and there. Like we went to a pawn shop one time, and they had like a PlayStation 1 setup with a Resident Evil 2 demo, you know, and I got to play it just
Oh,
for a
yeah.
brief second, you know.
That's fire, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
just for a brief second I got to play it. And so like what happened was eventually, so I got into the franchise when I was about 6 or 7, probably about 7ish, right?
Yeah.
I got into the franchise around then, but I didn't get to play the games until I was about 9 or 10, like a couple of years later. So there for the first couple of years, I was just like reading stuff on the internet about Resident Evil, you know, seeing it in magazines, maybe getting to
Right.
play the odd demo here and there. And then so I don't know which one I played first. I don't exactly remember here, but it was either Resident Evil Director's Cut or on the PlayStation 1, or it was Resident Evil Code Veronica on the Dreamcast. Now, the first one I owned was Resident Evil Code Veronica on the Dreamcast. I played Director's Cut over at a friend's house. And so,
Right.
and is around the same time, but I want to say maybe Code Veronica was the first one I got to play. Or, no, wait, hear me out. I just remembered I had a Nintendo 64, and I did have Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. I might have gotten Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64 before I got Code Veronica.
Okay.
Yeah, like that one's real hard to remember. That one's actually real hard to remember. I totally forgot I had RE2 on the Nintendo 64, and I did play the crap out of it. Hunk was like my favorite character in it. You know, it's a super cool looking SWAT guy. You know.
Oh yeah, getting him in the Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries.
He's got the gas mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's okay. So it's either RE2. Code Veronica or Director's Cut, but it's basically like all around that same
picks, yo.
Yeah, all great picks, and it's like all around that same time is like when like they all just kind of got dumped on me. Like I got, you know, I had the RE2 for N64, got Code Veronica, and then a friend of mine had the Director's Cut, and it all happened around the same time, which is pretty cool. It's real hard for me to remember right now. But it's one of those,
Right.
man. And but Code Veronica, that's there's a store, and went into it, and I was about 9 or 10, and they had Code Veronica for the Dreamcast bundled with a strategy guide, and the strategy guide had like the Wesker reports in it, and
Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I didn't have a Dreamcast. I asked Mom. I was like, Mom, you gotta get this. You gotta get this, and she did. And
Yeah.
then I saved up for my Dreamcast, and I got the Dreamcast, and I played Resident Evil Code Veronica finally. I couldn't help myself. I read through that strategy guide because I just wanted to read like everything Resident Evil, you know. I just devoured the strategy guide. I was just I love it. But yeah, so I got into the franchise when I was about 6 or 7 by seeing it in a video game magazine, and then learning more about it as I, you know, looked it up like online and stuff. And then
Right.
finally got to play it a couple years later, around the ages of like 9 or 10. And it was basically Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut, RE2, and Code Veronica. Played those, and played those for the longest time. Then Resident Evil 4 came. What else? No, okay, so then the GameCube was announced, and I bought the GameCube specifically because Capcom said that they were going to do an exclusive partnership, and Resident Evil was going to be an exclusive Nintendo title.
And then it got ported to every console on the planet, including a phone.
And probably a Samsung fridge, too. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, no, I remember, I was talking to my cousin about it, and I was like, bro, look at these pictures of Resident Evil Remake. Like, this looks amazing. I'm getting a GameCube. And he's like, well, I'm getting an Xbox. And I said, bro, the only game that might make me interested in Xbox is Halo. It looks kind of cool. Turns out I'm a huge Halo fan now. Like, I finally got to play Halo, and I was like, yeah, okay, I gotta get an Xbox.
Right.
But I bought the GameCube first.
Xbox recently.
Oh, what is it?
I've been thinking about making the switch to Xbox recently, like seriously been considering it.
Oh, it's I just go with a PC. Just get just save up and just get a good PC going. That basically covers everything. There's not too much about exclusivity between titles between Xbox and PlayStation anymore. I mean, Halo's coming to PlayStation soon. So it's so there's not much, like, you know, I don't see any reasons why not to switch or why to switch. I'd say go for a PC. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I've also been considering the new console, the handheld Xbox. That stuff sounds pretty enticing. It's going to be like a super Steam Deck.
Yeah,
that would be
something
really
like that would be
genre
pretty good.
Of like a content creator.
Yeah, because they're basically just mini computers. Like the Steam Deck, you can do so much stuff with just the Steam Deck. You can run VR from it, all sorts of things. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I love that. I'm like, and I'm a big trophy hunter too, so like, anytime having a handheld console is like my dream. Trophy hunting on the go, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I achievement hunt sometimes, just when I feel like it. Like Resident Evil Verse, when I heard it was shutting down, I jumped on it to finally play it. Turns out I actually really enjoyed it, but I 100%ed the achievements on it before it got shut down. I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, dude, I need to see. I can check right now.
So close.
I can check right now what it was. I think I was missing one trophy, and I don't remember what it was. Let me see.
Capcom, bring back
I've
Resident
got
Evil Verse.
Resident
It wasn't
Evil
that
2.
bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. I got Resident Evil 2 Remake at 94% right now. I'm missing the All Files trophy, and I refuse to do that because those are the worst trophies ever.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. I understand.
Let's see. There's Reverse.
Speaking of all files, the Nintendo GameCube. I got that Nintendo GameCube, and I got Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 Remake, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 4 when it dropped on the GameCube. I got Resident Evil 4 on launch day. And here's the thing though. I didn't beat Resident Evil 1 Remake until like a year later, because I was like 10, and I was like 10 or 11. How old was I? 10 or 11 when I ended up getting the GameCube and the Resident Evil 1 Remake. And when I played it, like, it was like, the graphics are amazing, and it was like so realistic, especially at the time too. The Resident Evil 1 remake graphics. Absolutely insane.
Oh, dude, that is such. It's like it just looks so good. The atmosphere of remake is amazing.
Dude, I played that in the dark in my room at night, and I can't remember how far I got. I got like maybe like halfway through the game, but I was like, man, I don't think I could play that right now. It was scary. I just remember being like, no, this is like really scary. And I didn't touch it for like 6 months or something until I finally I was like, I gotta play it. I have to finish the game. And so I like picked it up and, you know, finished it. But it was scary at the time. Now I don't get, you know, I don't get scared by them. There's but that's a good segue into favorite memories of the games. Yeah, no, that's a good segue into favorite. Yeah, what's your favorite memory about the Resident Evil franchise? What do you got?
So, I think there's not a lot of memories I tie like to the real world in Resident Evil, but more so like favorite characters and moments within the franchise. Like,
yeah.
I think, well, first, okay, my favorite characters are Wesker and Leon, which I feel like is a really based take. Like, I feel like that's one that a lot of people will have.
Well, I share one with you, Wesker. Wesker's one of my favorite characters. Yeah.
I think, you know, Wesker's just he's such a good villain. Like, he checks off all the boxes. Andy looks sick. He's got glasses and a trench coat. Come on.
Yeah, and just his overall look about his aesthetic to his look is cool.
And his accent is literally condescending. His accent is condescending. It's nuts. And then Leon, of course, he's just cool. I just like Leon because he's so badass. I'm thinking more Leon like Resident Evil 4 and like Damnation, Degeneration, Vendetta, Infinite Darkness, like CGI movie Leon is my favorite version of Leon. He's really good in all those. Like he just seems like an unfunny dad, which I really like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's like he's awesome. Like he's like really what's the word for it? Like he's a special agent. He's got special moves and all that. But he's such a kind of everyday normal guy kind of character. Like, you know, he's the rookie cop just sucked into the world of survival horror. You know, he's just so he has this real relatable vibe about him. I get that.
Exactly.
I see.
I think probably my favorite scene from each character, Wesker easily is like the scene where it's in Umbrella Chronicles at the end, where he's like, I no longer needed Umbrella, and he's like running away from the mansion. That scene where Wesker, who is dead or should be dead, he's bleeding from his mouth, his sunglasses are off, that like 3-second clip where he's just running through the mansion forest before the mansion explodes it's so badass. Like, no way. Not only is he alive, but now he's stronger than last time. Like, this is exactly what he wanted. He planned it all out. He planned his own death. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, the planning behind that. But I was just gonna say the way his character is, he's kind of like a Dracula type character. That's something I always liked about him, is because, you know, he's the reoccurring evil that that can't, like, they never kill him, you know. Well, I know Resident Evil 5, but the idea is, you know, they just kind of defeat him for a bit. You know, they just kind of defeat him for a bit. So it's like, you know, Redfield and Valentine, they're like the Belmonts, you know, going after Dracula, who keeps popping up. Yeah. Wesker keeps popping up, you know, Redfield, Valentine, they keep going after Wesker, and, you know, he's just he's kind of like an undead superhuman. He's kind of like a Dracula kind of like character.
Yeah.
With the powers and the red eyes, you know.
Right. And I think something that like Leon's a really basic character if you look at him for like why most people like him, but like I think something that kind of I just think it's silly that he does sometimes. Like, there have been several instances where Leon just does something that does not take into the consideration civilians around him. And I think most notably, my favorite is like that scene in Vendetta where he's on the motorcycle, like fighting the dogs, and he literally causes like 10 cars to crash, a pile up, and then he throws a grenade
Into more innocents.
Yeah, just to kill the 4 dogs, he just killed like literally 20 people, and then he shows up on a motorcycle in an elevator. Like it is nuts, absolutely nuts.
Yeah, the movies go
Damnation.
full. The movies go full anime. The movies just go full anime.
There's a scene in Damnation where he's like walking through the liquor hall or whatever, and a guy, like a dead soldier, like grabs his leg and he's like, "Help me!" And Leon's like, "Sorry, but I can't stop right now," and he just runs away from him and leaves him on the ground. I'm like, "Oh my god, Leon!"
So like, speaking of favorite movie moments, one of mine, it's Chris fighting a dude with pistols, and they're like right next to each other, and they're like shooting at each other but dodging the bullets and then running around each other shooting it. I think it's in Vendetta. I think it's Resident Evil Vendetta.
It's Glen Area. Yeah, it's Chris versus Glenn. That's crazy.
It's been a minute since I've seen all those. I watched them when they came out, but I haven't done a rewatch through them in a long time. I need to go back through the CGI movies. That's gonna be fun.
Right. Yeah.
I might
They're so good.
I might try to do. We'll see if we can make this happen, but I'll do like a watch party in the Dojo Discord for the CGI movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. It'd be
Okay,
fun to
yeah,
not just watch
exciting.
them, but to watch them with some other fans. You know.
For sure. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be like recorded or anything, of course. You know, just something for the community. We can all get together and have like a movie night or something.
In the Discord exclusive.
Yeah, Discord exclusive. I'm trying to just think of
There'll
things
be a
to
link
make it worth
in the
joining.
description of the videos too, for the Discord.
Yeah, check the description for all links. It'll be it's good stuff down there. Check it out. And hey, while you're there, hit a like and hit a subscribe if you haven't already.
There you go.
So,
right.
yeah, favorite.
You said that Wesker was one of your favorite characters, but you said you got someone different. So who's your other favorite?
Other favorite characters. Let's see here. Hunk for sure.
Okay.
Definitely Hunk. It's mainly their. It's not so much of like their personalities or anything like that, because they're bad characters. You know, you shouldn't look.
Right.
You know, you shouldn't try to emulate them, but their overall like look and everything was cool. You know, Wesker has like he's usually all black, trench coat or something, sunglasses, slick back hair. You know, and
Of course.
And Hunk, he has the gas mask and soldier uniform. He's kind of ninja-like, you know. He's kind of like the ninja in a way. Real stealthy.
like a ghost.
Secret agent, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that kind of vibe. So that's out of the enemies, probably those two. Out of the heroes, I'll say probably Jill Valentine. I like Jill more than Chris. Like I always just like playing as Jill more than Chris. Probably because I had a crush on Jill, but you know, whatever.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. And then who else? I never really cared much for Leon. He was I liked him in RE2 and RE4 and everything, but other favorite characters. I'm trying to think here. Of the heroes, because I'm trying to take into account like I'm thinking of like Outbreak and stuff too, because I've been playing through a lot of Resident Evil. I've been doing Resident Evil live marathon on my channel, so I finally played through all the games. I've been watching.
It's been pretty fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I finally played through all the games story mode style. So we're gonna go back through and play through all the extra modes, but I finally got to play through all the games, and so there's a lot of great characters in Outbreak, stuff like that. But I'm gonna go from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I'm gonna say Rebecca and Jill for the heroes, Hunk and Wesker for the villains. Those have to be my favorite characters, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's fair.
I liked Chris more than Leon. Like, I'm team Jill and Chris over team Leon and Claire.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I've never been a fan of the Leon and Claire ship.
Hey, let us know in the comments section below if you're on team Jill and Chris or team Leon and Claire. Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. I've never been a big fan of the Leon and Claire ship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if they as long, getting shipped. I just mean, like, out of the favorite characters, the duo, But
right, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm telling you, if Claire didn't get with Leon, she should have gone with Steve. Poor Steve was a great guy. That's Steve. You know what? I take it all back. Steve's my favorite character.
I take it all back. That's crazy.
Steve's my favorite character. Yeah. Man, he you know what? Leon took a bullet for Ada, right? He jumped he jumped in front and he tried to push Ada out of the way and he took a bullet. But you know what Steve did? Steve jumped and pushed Claire out of the way and didn't take a bullet because he's that much faster than Leon. That's why Steve's better.
He's just too good. And his hair's better.
Yeah, and his hair's better. He resisted the virus and kept his hair.
Yeah, no, that's actually fire.
Yeah.
He is I never understood being annoyed by voices either, like people who were like, God, I can't stand playing the game because Steve's voice, or like because Alexander's voice. Like I don't think, like, I know they're not good voice acting, but like I don't care. Like it's not that big of a deal to me.
Yeah, Resident Evil's always had bad voice acting. There's still bad voice acting in it. Resident Evil 7 and 8 is filled with bad voice acting.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna stop. Resident Evil 9, get ready for some dialogue. It's gonna be great. But that's part of the charm of it, The dialogue can be quirky and the voice acting can be quirky, And that's part of the charm. But yeah, no, Steve, he was like, Claire, and he was like, oh, sorry, and stuff. Like, it's real high-pitched, nasally, kind of whiny-ish, And, it was kind of... I can see where people might be coming from by being annoyed by it, but when you take a look at his overall character, Steve's a great guy, man.
Yeah,
Steve was a great guy.
Yeah, I liked him. I did, for sure. And I think in a remake, he will be a really good character, honestly. Like, I think if they gave him the treatment an actual well-thought-out modern-day Resident Evil character deserves, he will be awesome.
Yeah, I cannot wait for them to remake Code Veronica. Because,
it's not if, it's just when.
It's not if, it's when. What, Capcom don't like money? Is that
right,
it?
Exactly.
They allergic to money?
That's gonna do numbers for sure. Because I mean, that's like, it's weird because usually the games that people hate the most, like, there's also a group of people who like really stand by it. And I think that Code Veronica is definitely that for the Resident Evil franchise, if not Resident Evil 0. But I think just the whole community agrees that Resident Evil 0 is kind of just like trash. But I think it's not.
I give it. It's in the mid.
People don't hate Code Veronica like they hate 0. People just don't hate Code Veronica like they hate 0.
Well, Resident Evil 0 had some experimental ideas with being able to drop items anywhere, and then the two-person system where you know you have to switch in between characters, which is great for puzzles. That was a lot of fun. It can get annoying.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, especially when you're just like, if you're your first time playing and you're just lost and you're like, what, you know, you're switching in between characters, running all over the place, looking for items you dropped everywhere. So it's a very different play style from traditional classic Resident Evil. It had the fixed camera angles. Fixed camera angles, amazing. Graphics, amazing.
Right.
Storyline, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't care much for the overall look of young James Marcus, looking like he stepped out of Final Fantasy. I was like,
dude, that was literally Sephiroth. That was Sephiroth, like straight up.
Yeah, but I remember seeing him as a kid, and I was like, what is this dude doing on a cliff singing?
I love watching people's first playthrough of Resident Evil 0 because they're always just like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, that was them dipping their toes in the anime. That was them, dipping their toes in the anime. You can see it all throughout the games. There's little Code Veronica. They dip their toes in the anime a little bit.
Well, especially with that intro sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, the action sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. The so like Wesker showing up with superpowers, you know.
Oh my goodness, dude.
You know, which they did it like it's something that they did right, kind of. You know, it's kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, it wasn't overly ridiculous. It was like, okay, he's experimented on himself to, you know, become a super soldier, basically. You know, he's, you know, doing that stuff. It makes sense.
And they eventually explained it too. Like,
yeah, and they explained it all. You know, he did kind of show up out of the blue in that game, but it was pretty cool to see him, you know, show back up.
Right.
But it's still, that was definitely dipping their toes in the anime. they were dipping their toes in the anime.
No, I agree. Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's,
I think yeah, they still tend to do that. Like even now. I think Resident Evil 4 Remake had a lot of examples of that. Like a lot of the camera angles and stuff were just like, you knew what was going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Japanese style and culture that bleeds in through the games, in the dialogue and the overall like action sequences and styles and stuff. Because Capcom's a, you know, Japanese company, so of course they're gonna dip their toes in the anime. They have to, you know. Legally, I think they have to, but
yeah, right. No,
that's goofy. But overall, like, Capcom always does something experimental in all their games, and that's why Resident Evil 0 had experimental elements in it, and all the other games have experimental elements, is because every game, they do something experimental in the franchise. And, so I'm just basically, you know, as far as whatever's coming next, I'm like, alright, Capcom, I'm just, let's see what you do. Let's see what you do with it.
Right.
I'm just here for it. I like Resident Evil as a franchise, and so I'm just gonna...
I think they keep taking stuff from Revelations too.
Oh, there's a lot of reused elements of their games.
Yeah.
Just the boat I did, like if you think about Resident Evil Gaiden, they did the boat on Resident Evil Gaiden. And so they've revisited a boat several times throughout the series. They did it on
Revelations.
Yeah, Revelations. They did it on Resident Evil 7. We went to a boat. There was Dead Aim. We're on a boat. What other separate games here? No, there's something. No, there's something. Did Resident Evil 6 we go to a boat at some point?
There we go. Yeah.
Resident Evil 6 we go to a boat. Resident Evil 5, do we ever go to a boat in 5? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, ship deck. That's where we fight Excella.
That's right. Yeah, we go to a boat there. Yeah, so they revisit several elements. Even during my live playthroughs, I was talking about it a lot, and I can't remember. Me and chat, we were going back and forth talking about all the things that they've like reused, just different story choices or environmental set pieces, you know, things like that. Oh, that was a good one. Resident Evil 6, Carla, Ada's clone. When you go to defeat her, she like literally molds out and like takes over the walls and the ceiling and becomes a giant face in the wall. They reused that in Resident Evil 7. Yeah. The final boss fight is literally like what Carla did in Resident Evil 6.
Yep.
Now that was one of them I remember noticing that was like, hey.
That was like, and it's almost like nobody really says anything about it. Like everybody's just kind of like, okay, this is fine, this is normal. But I notice, man. Like,
yeah, I notice it. Especially when you play through one game after another, you really start to notice. But overall, I don't mind it. It's a lot of fun. I've had fun with the majority of the games. Like there's not many I'd rank like low tier at all. Like there's things I can criticize, like, you know, young James Marcus, the way he looks, like, you know, just kind of it just stands out of place, you know. It just stands out of place. So
I think we should talk about some Resident Evil 9 speculation.
Oh yeah, speaking of what Capcom what Capcom has next. What are you gonna do next, Capcom?
Well, we know what they're not gonna do next, and that's follow up on anything that they've led us to believe, because that's what they always do. We're not gonna find out what happens at the end of Village with the BSAA. They're gonna completely ignore that because they just hate us, apparently. Yeah. We also know that Chris is alive during Shadows of Rose, so we know he doesn't die in Resident Evil 9 if he's there.
Remember Blue Umbrella? I remember.
Yeah, Neo Umbrella. Yeah, Blue Umbrella. Yep, that was nuts. But I have a few theories that I haven't really seen anyone talk about. So do you mind if I share?
Yeah, feel free.
All right, so I think, okay, Grace's boss is a bad guy. Okay, he's like calling her into the office, and he knows that she's distraught about going to this place, but he's like egging her on. He's like, I know, but don't you think it's time you faced this? And he knows it's like a very sentimental case to her because it's her mother's death, or supposed death, because I don't think Alyssa's dead either.
I hope not. I hope not.
So I think he's part of the bad guys somehow, and he's setting up Alyssa. And we see Alyssa is tied up, right? And she's getting her blood drained. We know that. Spoilers, by the way, if you're watching a Resident Evil podcast and expecting no Resident Evil 9 spoilers, come on. But she's like tied up and getting her blood drained. And I think that's because whoever the villain is, either returning or a new person, needs her blood. Like like they need it to survive, right? Like they have, like, because Alyssa was infected, they think that Grace also has the antibodies. And so for some reason, the villain needs those antibodies. Whether it's because the villain themselves is ill or dying and needs Grace's blood to survive, or because they just want to sell it, who knows?
Yeah, they're all about that black market bioweapons trading.
Right.
They're all about
finally,
it.
I think the hooded guy, hear me out, that is a burnt Wesker. His skin is super white. He's got scars on his chin.
That's what I'm hoping
I
for
think-
myself. I feel
Yeah.
like that is one of the highest probabilities.
It's like a burn damaged Wesker.
Yeah, because
And
it
he's
shows
like
him
hiding
choking
himself
out.
now.
Yeah, it shows him choking out an FBI agent with a plastic bag
Yeah.
over the dude's face. Whoever that guy is, he's not a good guy. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, unless they come to be like, oh yeah, it's not FBI. It's like, or it is, but they're all, you know, actually bad guys or something.
It's the
But
fake Bureau
I'm
of
pretty sure.
Investigation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just some normal FBI dude, just, you know, just a good old boy just
Yeah.
trying to do his job, and he got choked out by whoever that is, and whoever that is a bad man. And Wesker,
Oh, yeah.
Wesker is a bad man. And Wesker's still alive.
Bad, angry man.
Hashtag Wesker is still alive. Let's get that in the comments.
We all agree on this.
Yeah, let's
Wesker
get-
is still alive. We
But-
heard his voice in Umbrella Chronicles, which Umbrella Corps, which is canon. We heard it.
Yeah, Capcom
We
wants
heard
to
it.
be adamant that that's canon, and Wesker is in there. DC Douglas is credited as a voice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they allude to, you know, someone important overseeing the experiments.
Yeah.
So that was one of the high notes for that game for me, was that it was they actually hinted at Wesker being alive.
Still being alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, what else is it? Resident Evil 9. So we got Grace. She might have the special blood, and Wesker is the hooded villain. Which I really think with that one, I'm thinking the hooded villain probably is Wesker. I think Wesker is gonna show back up.
And think
I
about it,
hope
because
so.
what did Wesker put Jill in? He put her in a hood too. And every time Capcom has given us a hooded figure, mainly Jill, it's been somebody we knew, and that's why they were hiding the face. So
yeah,
like,
they could reuse that type
Yeah.
of story trope to
because they
reveal
think
Wesker.
we wouldn't expect it, and we know they're trolls because they trolled us at the Capcom Spotlight. Like they literally, or the
Well-
Game Awards, whatever you want to call it. They
Well,
like literally.
Well, I want to expand on that. It was speaking of trolling, is that with Grace's blood. Now, hear me out on this. What they do is they show her getting her blood taken, and they have the character say something about, you know, special child, right? And so what it is they want you to make that connection because she isn't the special child. So maybe the special child is someone else. They're drawing Grace's blood for some reason, but maybe, just maybe, that they chopped it up like that in the trailer to have us falsely draw that conclusion, you know, as her being the special child. Now, there's a lot of
That's another thing,
evidence.
is we can't trust anything they show or say to us.
Yeah, because it's you don't want to give away everything in your trailers, you know, and stuff like that. But it's what is it about Grace? There is evidence she could be a special child because Alyssa took the Daybreak or the Daylight vaccine. Daylight or Daybreak? Yeah, Daylight.
Daylight.
Yeah, Daylight. So, yeah, she took that vaccine, so she could have passed on antibodies or whatever onto, you know, Grace. So Grace could. There's a lot of evidence that she could be, but also, you know, they could have chopped the trailer up to make us just draw that connection. But
Right.
But I wouldn't mind if they had her at least be the special child. I wouldn't be like, it wouldn't make me or break me on the storyline, you know, that type of thing.
No,
I
think I expect it.
Yeah, it's kind of expected from the trailer. So if they don't do it, hey, you know, what a twist. But if they do it, well, hey, it's expected.
Right. Either way.
Either way, I want. Speaking of the hooded man, though, I want a little fun theory of mine. I doubt this one is true. This is a really low possibility. But what if the hooded figure is Hunk? Okay.
I heard somebody say that. That is yeah, that's an interesting one.
Like hear me out, okay? Hunk is dedicated, and I mean dedicated to Umbrella. Like, even if Umbrella, like, Hunk's motto is, how does that motto go? Hunk's motto is, if there is one person left standing, then Umbrella is still around, and that person is me.
Yeah.
Like,
dude.
Yeah, he is dedicated to Umbrella.
I think Hunk needs his own game, and we know that they were working on a game at one point that was titled Resident Evil Hank or whatever. Like, it was leaked. It was leaked, and it was set to be released in Q3 of 2024, and it just never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, you make a good point. I wonder if that's going to be used as DLC, or if it's going to be used as an extra mode in Resident Evil 9. Like, maybe they scrapped it to resell it as DLC instead. Or
they're calling this the final, like, the end of this saga, the end of the Raccoon City saga. So if they want to make this encapsulate all of Resident Evil, here's what they need to do. They need to give us a Mercenaries mode. We need a Hunk game mode. We need an Ada game mode for separate ways. And we need a... what's it called? Like, they need to, instead of just Mercenaries, they need to combine it with Raid mode. Because Raid mode is awesome. Like, getting Raid mode's return in Resident Evil 9 would be so crazy.
Raid mode is my favorite extra mode. It's a raid mode, battle mode, then the Mercenaries. Like, I really do like the Mercenaries too. But for me, it's raid mode is a lot of fun. Raid mode is a lot of fun.
For me, the perfect Resident Evil 9 is the main game, obviously, with a bunch of unlockables, a raid mode, and then a side campaign, similar to Resident Evil 4 Remake's separate ways. And then it needs to have, like they need to find a way to make the replayability. Like, they just need to make a bunch of challenges that aren't related to trophies. Like, they need to be in-game challenges, like, or there should be, like, a leaderboard for speedrun timing. Like,
well, a good example is shooting the hat off of Mr. X in the Resident Evil 2 remake. It's just kind of something fun, you know?
Right. They need a leaderboard where you can check people's stats, playtime, completion, because then it adds somewhat of a competitiveness. There also needs to be, like, I think there should be a profile for the game, like, the actual game menu. Like, you don't have to be able to play online with friends, but you should be able to, like, have a profile where you can edit your banner and have, like, any song from the Resident Evil franchise play on your profile. Like just your in-game profile with, like, a badge or something from, like, your favorite Resident Evil game. I think they should do more stuff like that where you can customize and kind of show your personality a little more.
Because, like, what is it?
That would be perfect for the end of the saga, you know, finally giving Resident Evil fans what they want for once, you know? Like, actually giving us what we want instead of just, like, giving us something.
You pack it with all the content. I would love it to be packed with the content, and it would make sense with it being the was it the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil, and it being a you know, a kind of final goodbye to an era, a saga of the franchise, you know. So it would be great, yeah, like you said, to have the game packed with content, a ton of extra modes, a ton of unlockables, you know, different costumes, different characters, different competitive leaderboards. I'd love to have some form of multiplayer, co-op, or even PvP multiplayer, both, you know, preferably. You know, I would love to see the game just being just absolutely packed. And I would love to see, like, for an example, like, just as far as options go, I always think, you know, having more options is always better. But the camera, we should, you know, they should have fixed camera angles, third person and first person, you know? And, you should be able to, like,
Yeah,
let's say,
having those 3 options would be perfect. That's like my dream, because I would play Resident Evil 9 with fixed camera angles.
oh yeah, it'd be so much fun to you know, yeah, play play all the games like that. Just to have as an option would be amazing, you know. There's a lot of things you can do with mods that you know, there's a lot of things you can do with mods, but that's, you know, it's unofficial stuff, and not everyone is able to mod out their games, you know. Console players can't really do a lot of that, so, you know, for Capcom to include, like, official content and have it just Resident Evil 9 be packed with content, that would be the dream. That would be the dream. I would love that. I hope they do.
Right, because then they wouldn't be obligated to release another thing for a while either.
Right, yeah, to give them room to breathe and kind of figure out what they're going to do next.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need some time to... I mean, I know they're already working on it. They're already working on the next title after Resident Evil 9. It's just like...
And I'll tell you what that title is. It's Resident Evil 0 Remake, Resident Evil 1 Remake, Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake, Resident Evil 5 Remake.
Never getting another Resident Evil game.
Hear me out, Resident Evil 6 Remake, alright?
Yeah. Oh my god, do you think they could do it?
I'd hope they do it.
Here, no, Resident Evil 6, the perfect Resident Evil 6 remake only has Leon's campaign and Jake's campaign.
Yeah, right.
They just make it longer. They make it longer, still have Chris's story happen, still have Ada's story happen, but we don't need to, like, play it.
Yeah, I'd hope that they would include all of it. I'd hope they'd cut no content. They cut content from Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake, and some stuff from Resident Evil 4 Remake there. And Resident Evil 3 Remake definitely got gutted the most. Resident Evil 3 Remake was the worst.
I just feel like they tried to do way too much with 6, and that was like why it ended up being so bad. It's kind of like whenever it's so bad as a stretch. I don't think it's a bad game. I like Resident Evil 6 actually, but there's no denying the fact that I'm like a minority of people who think that way, right? Like Resident Evil 6 it's kind of the example of like a diner. Like they have burgers, pancakes, hot dogs, and tacos, but they're not good at any of them. They're just okay. That's what Resident Evil 6 was. It's like we've got like 4 campaigns. They're not really, none of them are really any like awing or anything. It's just they're all okay. And I feel like if they would have just put all the effort of 4 into like 2, then it would have been way more received. And like I just don't think it's realistic with as much time as it takes to make a game nowadays, like, and actually make it look good. Like, there's just no way they're gonna remake 4 campaigns, like 4 full-on, like 6-7 hour campaigns. I just don't see it.
Honestly, like, all they'd have to do is just take the game, change nothing, just update the graphics. Change nothing, just update the graphics. That's all we want. We just want the game to be shiny. We just want updated graphics. Play it. You know?
I'd play it.
Yeah, like honestly, like Code Veronica, if they just took the original game and just updated the graphics. Imagine like how Resident Evil 1 Remake looked when it, you know, came out. Imagine what they could do now, you know? Just do that with Code Veronica. Same game, just up the graphics and just let us play it, you know? But you know, all the numbered titles, they distract from the real remakes, and I'm talking about Resident Evil Survivor remake, Resident Evil Dead
Gaiden,
Resident Evil Gaiden remake. They got the new mobile phone survival unit coming out. Resident Evil Survival Unit, it's coming out. They need to remake the old Resident Evil mobile phone games. Resident Evil Confidential Report Files 1 through 4. I played through those. Those were a ton of fun. If they could just make a modern version of that, it would be amazing. What's up?
A ton of fun is crazy, man.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely enjoyed those games. It played just like Resident Evil. It had the exploration. It didn't have the puzzles. Confidential Report did not have the puzzles, but it had the exploration. You had to conserve ammo. They had zombies, lickers. They had all the monsters. It had a storyline. Like it was definitely old school. It can be kind of rough to look at, and the turn-based movement can make it feel slow. But overall, it was really fun. Yeah, it's really fun. They could just make a modern version of the Confidential Reports. That would be.
I think that'd
amazing.
be cool. Drop them for like $19.
Right,
like
something.
a whole pack, just all 4.
Yeah, because they're relatively short games and stuff like that. I mean, they can do new stuff with it or whatever, but I think if they revisited some of those older titles and remade them, mobile phone titles and remade them, it'd be a lot of fun. But it's speaking of zombies though, and to go back to Resident Evil 9, I'm just hoping that they include zombies in Resident Evil 9, because zombies is it's side by side with the franchise. Like, Resident Evil wouldn't be here without the zombies, you know what I mean? So for it to have the 30th anniversary and this big return to Raccoon City, I really hope that they bring back zombies. Hashtag bring back zombies.
It's gonna be like nuclear mutated zombies though, because of the nuke, and then because of them dropping the virus on the nuke zone and Outbreak. I think it's gonna be like some Fallout type shit where it's just like really gross nuclear enemies.
They could go back from it, but basically I think that Capcom confirmed that it was non-nuclear. That it was not a thermonuclear device.
Okay, so it's just like
real,
a really big bomb.
Real big bomb. It go big boom.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
And but either way, even if they did go the radioactive route, I don't mind enemy variety, as long as they also have base level zombies, have normal zombies, and also radioactive zombies. You can have all of them. Bring back the plant zombies too. Those are so cool. I like the plant
Those
zombies.
were awesome. I hated dying to them, but they're cool.
Oh yeah, they eat your face. Yeah, it's so so brutal. But it's a lot of fun, and I hope that they bring back a lot of classic enemies into Resident Evil 9 as a tribute to the franchise. So that's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, I hope they kind of. I don't like one-shot enemies. One-shot enemies really feel cheap to me. And so I'm hoping they maybe do away with one-shot enemies, or maybe there's only one in the game. In Resident Evil 9, because
crows. Crows have to be one shot no matter where.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, crows have to be one
if they bring back the crows.
Yeah, don't they can. Awesome. I don't mind. I hate the crows, but it's a love-hate relationship. I just pick on the crows because they're crows. I hate them. They attack me, and I can't aim and shoot them. I suck. I suck at aiming and shooting them. It's so bad. But they gotta be one tap. Crows have to be a one tap. Little enemies like that. But okay, the zombie system in Resident Evil 2 remake, okay? That was a great system. Like the Resident Evil 2 remake zombies. The damage system for those zombies. I hope if they have the zombies in Resident Evil 9, really hope they do. I hope that they have that damage system to them. Gore, brutality, everything, like the whole 9 yards. And the fact that you can put 9 bullets into a zombie's head and sometimes it can still get back up That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. All the zombies had different levels of health, so some were weaker than others, but it added a lot to it. It really brought that classic horror vibe into modern gaming.
Yeah. That kind of inconsistency does not fit in well with a game like Resident Evil 4, though, because, like, you have situations where in the original you shoot a zombie in the face and it's a guaranteed stun. You go kick him. You shoot a Ganado in the face in Resident Evil 4 Remake on Professional, you might shoot him in the face 3 or 4 times before they stagger. But you keep running towards them because you think, like, you're so used to just, like, shooting an enemy in the face and then running up and kicking them, but for some reason it's inconsistent with the stunning, which I think is, like, kind of ruins the gameplay flow sometimes.
Yeah, because the original gameplay flow of Resident Evil 4 is definitely using those combos of the headshots and leg shots.
Right.
Yeah. So it kind of switches up a lot of stuff. I got to play through Resident Evil 4 Remake once so far. I played through it and the Separate Ways campaign. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I really liked what they did with the environments, and overall, I think it was really, really good. I really liked the way the environments looked. They nailed they nailed the atmospheric horror to the environments better in the remake than they did in the original Resident Evil 4. Like, the environments are actually kind of like they have a scariness about them. It's great.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 Remake, they did a lot of good things with it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that was the ideal remake. And I platinumed it, 100% of it, and it was a great time. One of my most fun platinums for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to platinum some Resident Evil 9.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think you want to go ahead and call it here for the first podcast.
Yeah, I think this was good.
This is
went over some favorite characters, favorite moments, series introductions, Resident Evil 9 speculation. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we can always just, talk about all of it again some more in the next one. So make sure everyone watching, make sure you like and subscribe, and check out both of our channels. We both do our videos in different ways, so check out both of them. And links in the description to everything. Join the Discord, links in the description. We do community gaming, and we're going to try to do community like movie nights. That'll be pretty fun. And
that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's gonna. It just hit me while we were talking about the CGI movies. I was just like, oh, I need to watch those again. And I was like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not get everyone else involved too? Let's all watch them.
Right. So you're not gonna want to miss out on that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll see. Try to figure out how to get something like that going. But links in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member, and definitely join the Discord. My name's Americana Ninja.
And I am Cryo.
And this was the G-Cast podcast.
Yep. Episode 1. We will see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace out, guys.
Bye-bye.